Hello, America. I'm here on Facebook, the social media platform that gives us so much information. And we are in a very frigid, cold January day here at the Alpha Media Studios at WSGW 100.5 FM and 790 AM. And today we've got two individuals who are going to be on our show with La Mission. It's a new organization that is giving back to the community in a big way, and we have two individuals from La Mission who are going to talk about what they do, why the group started, and what's in the future for them. So join us here in the chat room. If you've got a question or a concern, or you just want to leave a comment, please feel free to do that, because Mi Gente on Air is your show, my people. And this is a great platform for us to have a voice in the community. So please join us here tonight on Mi Gente on Air.
Welcome to Mi Gente on Air on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Now, here is your host, Larry Rodarte.
Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Mi Gente on Air. I am your host, Larry Rodarte, and we are here in a frigid, cold January day, January 22nd, I believe it is, and it's cold all over the nation. It's actually snowing in Houston, in the Galveston area, where I have family, and New Orleans has snow tonight. So can you imagine how they are dealing with that, not knowing how to deal with snow? At least we know, right? But we're at zero temperatures here in the studios at Alpha Media and WSGW, and I am cold, but it keeps your mind alert, right? And so I'm here tonight. To all my listeners, thank you for joining us. And we've got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking about the gift of giving. And there's a new organization in Saginaw. It's called La Mission. And I have one of the founders here, Mr. Rudy Vela, who is with us, as well as someone who has been with the organization since they started, Mr. Marcus Hill. Gentlemen, how are you?
Well, how are you? Thank you
Fine.
for having us.
Yes, thanks for being here tonight. So we know that there's a great need in this time and day. There always seems to be people that are in need, but it seems more so as of late. And, you know, whether it's the homeless or whether it's somebody who is hungry, Saginaw takes care of their own. And La Mission is an organization that is doing that in a big way. So, Rudy Vela, tell me how you guys started this organization.
Well, goes back to meeting my wife. We'd be on the phone, and she's always doing something for somebody. And through our marriage, it's always she's. I'm not gonna go as far as saying an angel. She's a wonderful person. She's, I love her a lot, but she's always helping somebody. And we got to the point where a little bit more time. We wanted to invest time in an organization, and we kind of felt around, did some things. Nothing was really fitting, and I was a drive truck, and I was driving my truck somewhere, and I was thinking, what if we put something together where we met everybody that was like my wife? And I just thought of the name La Mission, a mission to find these people. And I brought the idea to my wife. I said we could utilize Facebook, and as it got bigger, that would show how many people were interested in helping, whether it be somebody that would reach us that needed clothes for their kids because they just were in a situation. And that's what we get now. We get these phone calls, and then that's what really started La Mission, was what we didn't have. With now 2,500 people, we do have. And it's basically what the outreach started as, but it's growing into other things now.
And Marcus, what would you say has been your story in regards to La Misión?
Um, I really didn't have my own role in it. I was just observing. As Rudy said, Veronica has always helped in some kind of way anyone. We could be anywhere, and she would have that desire to help somebody that was in need. She's always found a way to be there whenever someone needed her, and she always made sure to made sure that she got whatever they needed. And I kind of fell into it by accident, by accident on purpose.
On purpose, yeah.
I mean, I was just telling Rudy if I had my way, I'd probably still be sitting in my basement. And Veronica kind of just pulled me into it, just that contagious light. And I just offered whatever I had in my own kind of way to give. We all just have just that need to give. All of us are a vessel in some kind of way. We planted the seed, the community is watering it, God is providing the light, and the community is growing on its own.
Well, I noticed recently there was a funeral at the Union Civica at the hall. You guys were a part of feeding the people that were in attendance. I was watching from the cameras, and I just seen busybodies in the kitchen. Marcus, you were one of them. You were moving pretty quick there in the kitchen.
Takes over.
Yeah, and so you're definitely a big part of this whole effort. And Rudy, I would like you to tell me a little bit about your background as an individual, because when you talked about your wife, Veronica Vela, that is her name. She's the daughter of a pastor.
Yeah.
And so I think, part of her giving, when I've had discussions with her, kind of stems from that, in that role. And so tell me a little bit about your background, your family background in Saginaw, and how you were also involved with the Civica at one time in regard to your uncle being the president.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my family has they were pretty popular in Saginaw. From the softball days, and I grew up in the Civica. I love that place. I just remember being a kid, just watching my mom and dad dance, and they just glided across the floor. And just remember the bands playing and me and my friends playing in the parking lots. But yeah, we grew up around a lot of fun people, from the Wattis families and Gonzalez's and Gallardos. I didn't even say that right. I know I didn't. I'm a Saginaw Mexican. But Gallardo. Anyways, but the Roses family, all those guys, and we grew up with them. And so I have a lot of friends in this town. I try to be a good person, work hard, pay my bills, but I've never been what is expected of La Mission now. I've always made sure my kids had everything they needed. Been there for my mom and dad, till my mom passed. But as far as my love for this town, I love Saginaw. I did leave for like 20 something years because I was terrified it got kind of bad here, and I had to get away. Kind of believe that's the reason why I'm alive, but I grew up, came back home. I love it here.
Well, it's, I mentioned earlier how there seems to be a greater need today than in the past. And Saginaw has the Hunger Center. It has the well for the homeless men. It has the mustard seed. There's a number of different entities that are helping those that are in need.
Yeah.
How do you see the need today? And obviously, it's a whole another ballpark for you in regards once you step up to the plate and you're out there helping people. Tell me about that.
The one thing that does make us different from these other organizations, we have a lot of organizations that's stepping up and seeing what we're doing and seeing how different it is.
Mm.
And what does make us different is, let's say a young lady already going through enough, maybe left her husband for abuse, and her kids are just, they left in the middle of the night with nothing. They call La Mission, and we reach out to you. And somewhere in amongst all these people that are watching on La Mission, following our forum, we get them everything they need. They find an apartment. We don't help financially, but we do have the means to get everything they need. Whether there's a young lady that, hey, my kids just grew out of that kid's clothes. A friend of mine from Texas seen the video that we made, and he reached out and said, hey, I want to pay for those kids' boots. It's getting cold. The reaches were Chicago, Holland, Texas, Saginaw, big time, just stepped up for it. And we made sure that they had food, furniture, and everything was delivered to her. We, as a team, we got together and we got everything together and we got it to this person. And we never call anybody out. If you do see the person, it's because they thanked us on Facebook. We don't front anybody out. But
when you talk about the team, I know there's you and your wife, Marcus. Who are the people really involved? I guess let's give them some of their kudos and flowers tonight.
Yeah, Domingo Delgado helps us when it comes to cooking. With some of the other things we do. My cousin Thelma will help us. Yvonne
Hernandez.
Yep, Yvonne Hernandez. Yolanda Barrera steps up and helps us whenever we need stuff. And then other people, some people like to be kept, in the dark. And I guess that's the way to say it. And, They don't want any recognition. They do what they do. Lucy and Bertha have helped us with stuff, and at the same time, we work with other organizations. This isn't to us, it's never been when it comes to organizations, we want to show how we can all work together and just build something beautiful for Saginaw.
Well, in a time of, that is very contentious, we went through a rough time as a nation with this last election, and then leading into, that was really only 2 months ago.
Yeah.
How do you see the community now from the standpoint of being involved in this organization? Does it seem like, although many people like online are very cynical or whatever, but does it seem like there's really a caring heart out there for people in need from our community?
Yeah, there is. A lot of people like to stick to themselves. I was that kind of person. I want to go to work. I want to come home. I want to take care of my house, take care of my grass. But since we started doing this, man, people see me cry on Facebook. I get pretty emotional when I hear that 2 little kids aren't comfortable when they go visit their dad, and they need a couple of chairs because they're not comfortable. And I post something and to see if we can get those items from somebody who just got something sitting in their basement. But the outreach. My wife just had a meeting with a lady today that just wanted to hug my wife. This couple, and they said they love what we were doing, and that they just said we need more people like that. But there is, and we're meeting them all. With I think we just hit 2,500 on Facebook. It's like 100 people. My wife, we would have so many more numbers, but my wife goes through it and finds the people that are just selling something or whatever, and she kind of gets them off of there because she doesn't want people posting stuff. But yeah, it's not about the number, it's about the quality of the people that are on there. And she made sure that 2,500 number is strong with people that care. And we actually had somebody, Celestino. I keep forgetting his last name. Castillo. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm gonna call you out. It's just an example of love, man. He got a hold of us the other day. My wife called me, and she was just like, "My gosh, Rudy, Celestino." He had reached out, and he said, "I got to meet with you guys for a minute." And he gave us gas fuel cards from Speedway, and basically this whole thing, that's what it runs on. It runs on fuel. We all have nice vehicles, but it's running out of our pocket, for now, but yeah, it runs off of fuel. So that stuff does help. We used to say no, like, no, that's good. But when somebody that wants to help reaches out and says, hey, here's $100 gas card, that stuff really comes in handy.
Yeah. Well, Marcus, from your standpoint, because I have watched some of Rudy's videos, and I know in talking with Veronica, she says like he has the gift of gab. How would you see, Marcus? How would you see Rudy's role as one of the founders, along with his wife, in this?
Rudy's role is very pivotal. When I hear La Mission, you see Veronica, but like you think Rudy has this infectious way of affecting people and getting them to
participate.
Yes, very, very much so. He's very well known. He knows this community. He loves this community, and I think that not only pulls the community together, but it's been able to pull us together and and get us to give as much as we can. He's 110 miles an hour at all times. It just makes you want to keep up with them. It's infectious.
Because part of it, obviously, it's giving of yourself. It's giving of your time. Are you surprised, Marcus, how much time that you have to give being involved with La Mission?
Not so much. Not so much. So, you don't really notice it. Like we were at that, helping with that dinner with the funeral, and I think what were we there like maybe 5-6 hours it ran on.
We were expecting to just do so much, and we just kept going.
And like I said, you don't really notice the time when you're doing something that you don't necessarily have to do. It's not like clocking in for work, like, oh, I have to be here to make a living. Doing something selfless and for someone else just feels far more rewarding, and I always have the energy for something like that.
Yeah. Well, Rudy, if your wife was here, and I know that she likes to stay kind of more in the background rather than be in front, what do you think has been essential in her role with La Mission as a pastor's daughter, somebody who's used to working and giving? What has been her role as your wife in the involvement of La Mission?
Veronica is La Mission. I asked her one day, I said, what is my role? Because we basically, when we started, we were doing one thing, and it was really keeping us busy, and it was going so good. And she goes, okay, I want to do this now. She goes, oh, I'm going to get some people together. We're going to do flowers. And somebody donated her like a whole bunch of vases. And they did a whole bunch of little flowers to take to the old folks' homes just to put a smile on their face. She wants to make people happy. And it does take a lot of time. But at the same time, I love to see her doing what she wants to do. And that's Veronica. I mean, from joining a church because we um, went into their Mi Casa Su Casa, the Delgado Church
Mhm.
on Hess Street, and she just loved what they were doing. And then we just went in there on a Tuesday and just started ripping boxes for them. And I knew something was coming because that was the last winter before La Mission. And I said, I was in my head. I'm like, something's coming, man, because she's just in this like where she just wants to donate her time, but to something big. It's got it, and this thing is just getting so big. It's as big as her. Her spirit is just, oh my goodness. Sometimes it can't keep up.
But when you talk about Pastor Delgado, Augustine Delgado, and his wife Claudia, they are pastors over at New Beginning Ministry over on Hess Street.
Yeah.
And they are quite involved as pastors. Sometimes the churches are the ones that we all look to be involved and give in times of need and all. But you are individuals that you, like you said, you're a truck driver. You drive around. You come into Saginaw, and Veronica is here most of the time.
Yeah.
But there's definitely been quite a need, because I see the post, and I know that it's hard work at times. But when I think, give from the heart, it makes it much more easier, and it's very helpful in that regard. Um, Another individual that I would like to talk about and give credit to is Veronica's brother. I know that he also has been involved in there was an initial dance, a kickoff with La Mission
Mhm.
um,
Caesar.
at the
I
Civica.
forgot you, Caesar. I am
Caesar,
so
I
sorry.
remember you,
man.
but no, it's important to give to recognize people, because I saw
The
that
belle
guy.
of the ball.
Yeah, I mean, he was just decorating like crazy in that
Oh,
hall, and it was a
it
beautiful
was
dance.
amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah. So I want to make sure we talk. And is it? Do you find that there's a lot of people willing to be a part of La Mission? Not just so much of just the initial contact, but actually stepping to the plate and utilizing their time, like Marcus.
Like Marcus learned, it's something that you maybe might step in. Say, I'm gonna do a little bit. Um, People have stepped up as volunteers, but I really think it's gonna be hard to become a La Mission member. It's got to be somebody that's gonna just step up and say, you know what, I'm gonna do it. What do you need me to do? What I
Mhm.
got 3 hours today. What do you need me to do? I can go pick up that stuff. I have a truck. I have a trailer. You need those. I seen you got some couches for some people. I'll deliver those. That's the kind of people we need, and really think that's what it's going to take to be a La Mission member, because you can have an organization with a lot of members, but if there's nothing really happening, there's no reason for it. You know what I mean? To just say that you're a member of La Mission has to mean that you're really doing everything we're doing too. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think it would be really hard. I love the support we get from everybody, and I think you basically, I ain't no angel, but to kind of do what we do without starting it, like we have this on our shoulders now, and to get under there, you almost got to be an angel to come in here and help us.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things when you talk about you have it under your wings basically now. It's moving forward.
Yeah.
It's moving forward, and hopefully expanding with other individuals who find it in their heart to also give of their time and to work, because it is work, and it's God's work. It's work that is badly needed. Do you think that in Saginaw, the community at large is a giving community?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
By January 1st, we had helped was almost 200 people, and with 60, just under 60 people that had contributed stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we had cases, I guess we call them cases, when people would call in, and we would take the case, and then people would donate their things to help us make that happen. So
All right. So we're going to be back. We're going to go into commercial. We're going to talk more with Rudy Vela, one of the founders of La Misión, as well as Marcus Hill. And don't go anywhere. We'll be back here on Mi Gente on Air. So thank you for joining us in the room. We would like to hear back from some of you in the chat room as well, but we do have individuals, and I'm going to read just some of the messages. Raul Nano Fuentes says, "How are you doing, Larry? Long time no see. Much love to my Midwest family." He's watching, I think he's in the Detroit market. Val Blanco says, "Doing great things for all gente. God bless you all to keep it all going." So those are some of the comments that we're receiving. So if you have a concern or a question to these individuals, please put it in the chat room, and we'll be willing to incorporate it as part of the show. Mi Gente on Air is a show that is about showcasing those in our community that are contributing. And these guys are really contributing in a big way. And, we want to give that recognition to these individuals, and hopefully they will inspire others to be a part of La Misión, or just in the gift of giving. And we typically look at that as a time at Christmas time, the gift of giving and all, but year round, individuals are in need. So it's a great thing. It's a great thing that they're doing, and I'm happy to have them here on Mi Gente on Air so that we can showcase all that La Misión is doing currently. And it's a new organization that just came into existence in the last 2 or 3 months. So it's relatively new, and they had a big jump out of the gate, and they're doing some great things. So let's go back into the show. Let's talk more with Rudy Vela and Marcus Hill from La Misión.
You're listening to Mi Gente on Air on WSGW.
Welcome back. I am your host today, Larry Rodarte. I'm here every Tuesday night pretty much on Mi Gente on Air, and we broadcast on Sunday evenings at 8 p.m. on WSGW 100.5 FM and 790 AM. And I believe we're going to be broadcasting as well on Saturdays. So look for us on Saturdays and Sundays on the weekends. But we're here on the live stream on Facebook and social media platforms on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. If anybody has an idea for a show, hit me up on instant message on Facebook, and we can see if maybe we can do that, because we've been doing this now for 4 years. We are now in our 5th year, and there's always somebody that we can showcase in our community or throughout the nation. And Mi Gente on Air is here so that we can promote those positive images, as well as those that are contributing to our community, as well as the culture and the concerns that we may have at any given time. So we're here today talking about La Misión, a new organization that has been in existence for about the last 3 months. And tell me, Rudy, what do you feel has been your biggest challenges with La Misión? Big pause.
Yeah. I don't think we've really had one. Veronica is, I'm sorry, I just keep bringing up my wife because this girl is a driving force. She don't stop. No matter what we got going on, she will start something else because she knows it's needed. And somehow we make it work, from doing 2 of our missions going at one time to setting up a food drive that actually came up. We came up with another idea by um, setting up where we have the elderly call us and give us their addresses, and I think once a week or once a month, we're going to be taking them vegetables and fruits and some of the canned goods that are provided by the government, and we're going to deliver these things. But she just keeps it going. So I really don't know. What did you?
I mean, if I could chime in on that,
Yeah,
I
go
think
ahead.
one of the strongest points about La Mission, having such a big community and everyone giving, if we could have more people volunteer their time, if we could just, reach out and put it out there, hey, we need some help with this, because going back to Veronica, I don't know if everyone realizes exactly how much time this woman gives. I mean, from 7 a.m., she's up, like
Mhm.
before we even got here, she's already loading up the truck with these donations that she drops off. And it's almost like it doesn't end for her. And similar to how it is for me and Rudy and Domingo, we run off of that energy. But just if you could donate some of your time when we have some of these unique events and fundraisers and food drives, whatever it is, you got the time, pull up.
Mhm.
Well, I know that we at the Civica, we have been asked, to participate in a food drive, upcoming food drive. I know your ties to some of our members, Berta, Lucy,
Mhm.
is very special. So we'll probably be working and partnering together in that
Yep.
regard. And one of the members of the Civica is asking here, Val, she says, whose number do we call to give donations? And is there a drop-off location?
Not as at this moment, but we could pick it up. You would just have to message the La Mission
On Facebook?
messenger. Yep, just hit the messenger, and you'll get my wife.
Yeah,
She's
Veronica's number is
always
posted.
watching it. Yeah, and then we'll set something up.
Okay. Well, we have mentioned Yvonne Hernandez, and she says she's on the chat room. She says Rudy and Veronica are hard workers as well as their members. May God bless God bless them for all that they do. So that's a nice message
And
from
Mama,
Yvonne.
she's Mama La Mission.
Mama la Mission.
Yeah,
Yvonne, you hear that?
she knows.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's truly a blessing to be able to give back. And there are entities, like I mentioned, for the homeless and all, like the well and the mustard seed. Have you found that you have helped homeless individuals that are in our community?
Yeah, you want to?
Oh yes, many. Once again, this is something Veronica does on a regular basis. Just from people, we'll be out at breakfast and someone wants something to eat. We don't mind or even give it a second thought to, ask them what it is they want to eat. Blankets, whatever food that we've got left over, we regularly stop in places that we know that they'll be to give. So yes.
It's definitely,
Yeah,
yes.
I had to talk to my wife because she loves spunky things. She just God's on her side. She'll just collect blankets. I remember Diana Gonzalez. She'd make sure to let me know these are all brand new, and the ones that aren't brand new, they're freshly washed, and then you can smell the gain on them. But I collected them all, and I'm on the road, and Veronica's so happy. She said, I see, where, the spot where those people live under the bridge. See, yeah, I went over there and I called them, and she made sure they had blankets and everything because it just started getting cold, and an unsafe thing to do. But she understands. She's just quick to just to go to help somebody, and she felt like she needed to do it. She didn't want them to go one more night without those blankets.
Well, I want to mention that La Mission to my listeners out there, and it's Mi Gente on Air is targeting the Hispanic community. Yes. And it is an important venue for our community, but it's also incorporates a lot of the non-Hispanics when they hear it on 100.5 FM and 790 AM. But La Misión is having a taco dinner fundraiser on January 31st, right?
Yes.
And if you can support them that way, you can get some delicious food and be able to help in their mission of helping others. So who is organizing that and who's going to be cooking for you guys? Because that's a big important.
Okay, is Yvonne helping? I think Yvonne's helping. Is Mingo on beans? Because if Mingo's on beans, we're gonna have return customers. I hope Mingo's on beans.
I believe so.
Man, he never tasted no beans like Mingo's beans. Actually has a label. My kid, my little one, is that Mingo's beans? You know, it's just the way it is at our house. Anyways, but I'm not sure who else is cooking it. Anyways, but
We'll all be there.
and you'll be offering 3 tacos with rice and
with
beans.
rice and beans.
Rice, beans, salsa, lettuce, tomato, and cheese.
Yeah.
And we're actually trying to set a place that's like in the center of Saginaw. I think we have it, but we haven't confirmed it yet. So if you're not on our La Misión Facebook page, go ahead and friend request that so you can watch our forum to see the things that are coming up, and the address and everything we posted, because a lot of people are asking, they would like to go in and eat there. So they have their food nice and warm and right off. So yeah, we have a place that we're sure we have it, but not yet, but where we could cook it right there, and like a restaurant, like how you guys do. They could just come in and eat.
Yeah. Well, make sure that it's warm, because I tell you, this cold weather that we're having this spell.
Exactly.
It seems like January has really become the month where we go through these winter vortexes, and it's extremely cold. February gets a little better, March gets a little better, but I'm just like, I can't believe what I'm seeing in Texas that's happening this week with the snow down in the south. I was just there 2 weeks ago, and I thought, well, I'll get some warmer weather because it was pretty cold here.
Yeah.
And it was 32 degrees down in Houston area, and
Yeah.
I was like, this is not Texan weather. So, but well, I'm so glad to see that you guys are finding great success with La Misión, and I think that as you continue on in this road, do you find, and this is kind of a personal question, but do you find that you are feeling closer, one, to a spiritual connection as well as to our community at large?
Yeah. Sometimes you can't deny it, because the moment I say, babe, you're taking too much stuff, we should let them hold on to it until the situation comes, she goes, no, I'm taking it. Within days, or within that day, we get a phone call that maybe a mother left her husband and the 2 little kids, and he was stuck with, there was a situation, and we had what he needed because of the things that his wife took.
Mm-hmm.
And she took stuff that the kids really did need, and it was just crazy. And Veronica had it at the house. It was just nuts. But yeah, it's, you can't deny it. God isn't like kind of stepping in and
moving those hearts.
Yeah.
And do you work with, you mentioned New Beginnings Ministry, Pastor Augustine and Claudia Delgado. Do you work with other churches in the community? And are they reaching out to you, or are you reaching out to them? Because I know that there is a greater need altogether, and it's, like I said, the churches that we kind of look to do this type of work.
I don't think necessarily churches are reaching out, but we have organizations reaching out to where my wife had to go somewhere to fill out this paperwork, and they just fell in love with La Misión, and they gave her the rights to get, like, she got one already, like a whole a thing of brand new coats, all kinds of different sizes in the plastic and everything, and we made sure they got out. Actually, we have a coat drive I don't think you would call it a code drive. It's a code giveaway at um, Delgado's church. Why am I?
New Beginnings Ministry.
I have those.
Okay.
At New Beginnings Church this Saturday, right? Yeah, this Saturday. What time was that? We didn't write it on here. That's why
and they have an actual organization. I mean, the church itself.
Yeah.
They have
Mi Casa Su
Mikasa
Casa.
Sukasa. Claudia and her daughter Micaela formed that as well, to help those in need that may need clothing and stuff. So
Yeah,
that's
And
nice to know
we're
that you
putting
guys are
together with
working
them.
together. Yeah.
Yep, to do that clothing or that coat drive, and the church and us will pull everything that we have together to keep people warm. They can just go out there, get the stuff for free.
Wow. Well, Marcus, what do you see is the need from your perspective as a member of La Misión? What do you feel is the need that you could we could tonight here put a calling out to help La Misión in their mission?
La Misión is, you have to understand that there's something going on that's bigger than you. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than all of us, and
Mhm.
the need to give, to be selfless, just that love, and the spreading of love. We're in some pretty dark times right now, being let down by higher powers who we've relied on to give to us, and we can't do that anymore. We have to help each other. The sense of community and family is really important right now, and La Misión has it's so much more personal, and I think that's what we need right now. You go to government offices and you apply for help and you get the runaround a lot. You go here and then you go here and then fill this out, and then you might not even get help. Whereas you contact La Misión, we've cut out the middleman. We're right there. You contact us, what you need, and you're who we see. And
Yeah, people have
Yeah.
been surprised how fast.
yeah,
I mean, what the loops they had to go through, and then they didn't get help, and then they were told about us, and then we got them everything they needed within days.
Yeah. Well, Pastor Augustine Delgado's on here, and he is reminding us that there is that clothing and coat
Yeah.
giveaway this Saturday. What day is that? Today's the 22nd.
Today's
The
21st.
25th.
26th is Saturday.
Oh, the
The 26th.
26th. Okay, so
Yeah.
January 26th. And he says, keep up the great work. The reward is so much greater later. That's
Hey,
coming-
Pastor.
That's coming from a pastor. So thank you for that contribution, Pastor Delgado. And let me ask you something else. When you see that, we have our organizations in our community, and sometimes there is strife, and that has come to the attention as of late. It seems, because I get hit on by individuals that may say, what's going on within the Hispanic community or whatever. What would you answer in terms of attesting to that idea that there maybe we don't always get along? And I'm asking that to you, Rudy, because I know that you have been involved, to try to bring the community together at large. And it's a difficult task. And I think that by La Misión doing what they're doing, maybe sometimes that can help iron out and make things a little bit smoother.
I'm glad you brought that up, because that was one of the biggest reasons. My wife, she goes, when we do this, she said, I want to, actually, before we did this, she said, I'm going to have a meeting with everybody from every organization. I'm going to call Larry Rodarte and I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to call Bobby DeLeon and I'm going to talk to him. And that's just what she does. She just fills the voids, and she just wants to fix the bridges. And if there is any broker, she doesn't. Let's put it this way: my wife wants to create a relationship before one is broken because of hearsay, and
that's key. Hearsay, perception that somebody is a certain way. Then they don't really even know. They don't know you.
Some people are quieter.
Yeah.
Some people aren't.
and some may have a voice that I do here on this show,
Yeah.
and it's not something that I take for granted by any means, but I know that it brings us to the table, and it gives us the opportunity to promote an organization like La Misión. So it's important, and so it's important that we do try to work together, and we can say that 100 times and beat it like a drum, but unless the work is actually put forth, like you guys are doing, then it's of naught. And so I hope that you continue on this road, and that you find the support from the different organizations, whether it's from LEAD, whether it's from the Civica, whether it's from the MAC, because there's a number of different entities within our community, and I'm saying this for our non-Hispanic listeners as well, because the Hispanic community, the Mexican American community, the Latino community in Saginaw is great. We have a wonderful community, and we have been here third, fourth generations. And we're vibrant. It's a very vibrant community, and we have our festivals, the Cinco de Mayo, which is the biggest parade I think in Saginaw County, actually, and it's a wonderful time. And we hope that you guys are going to be a part of that this year.
Oh yeah,
because believe it or not, Cinco de Mayo is only 4 months away.
Yeah, I know. We're planning something. We're trying to get our ducks in a row right now.
Yeah, less than 4 months away, actually.
Yeah,
and it's tough because here we are in the middle of January in a very cold spell, and my mind's already thinking Cinco de Mayo. Because it's such a wonderful thing. If we got it, well, even if we don't have a great weather day, and we have had some recently, but the enthusiasm from the crowd, it just really signifies what a great community Saginaw really is, because you got all walks out there. And I know that we're going to be celebrating the 46th annual Cinco de Mayo, and the Union Civica is 80 years old this year. And I know Rudy and I have had talks about this in regards to with his family involvement with the Civica many years ago.
Yep, aunts and uncles, dads.
And
I didn't even get into that. That's crazy.
It's funny that Rudy, after all this time, you and I are sitting here and we're talking about La Misión, and but you put a vision in my mind when you talked about how your parents were dancing on the dance floor and the kids were outside in the parking lot or whatever. And I know that there's those dances from way back, whether it was a quinceañera or a wedding, and families were there at the Civica, and kids were falling asleep on the chairs.
Yeah,
and, it's
all
just
4 of us laying on the floor next to my mom.
yeah, and so it's important that we keep this organization going, because it's a testament to our community that the Unión Cívica Mexicana has survived 80 years. When we look at our contemporaries out there in the state of Michigan, many have faltered. They are no longer here.
Yeah.
The Lomalita and Pontiac, they started around the same time we did. I don't know if Flint or Lansing actually had, per se, a kind of a civic organization, but I know the one in Detroit is out there. La Comité, they're still in existence, but there's not very many. But so 80 years is a long time. And I'm saying this on my show here because we're in the month of January, and one of the things that we're trying to showcase is the contributions of the Civica all these years. And, it's important to
my wife too.
Yeah. And
she's really pushing it.
Yeah. And that we celebrate this accomplishment. And that is the theme of this year's Cinco de Mayo, is celebrating the Unión Cívica Mexicana's 80th year. So get ready for La Misión, and I want to see a real nice float.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do a float. We'll do a float.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you can think of that you'd like to share with us on this show? We've got 3 minutes left.
This is kind of for my wife.
Okay.
We will be bringing cultures together with our future fundraisings and other plans. We want to give Saginaw a chance to come together. This is basically this is a message not to just Hispanics, not to just our Latino culture. It's just that we've got such a big outreach from whites, from blacks, the different organizations that have stepped up, luncheons that were scheduled to go on with people that she's just like, I don't want to go to lunches. And I'm like, babe, this is kind of like city politics now, and she got into this to do what she does. But I said, you become the face of La Mission no matter what you want. People see you and they love you. The people that just give us a cemetery plot. They just gave us a cemetery plot, and we were able to give that to somebody free, like shortly after that. And it was a bad situation, but
Wow.
it was a situation that was needed. And it turned out that the lady that gave it to us, she had met the kid and she really liked him. And that was it was weird. I mean, you know what I mean? It's very touching that the lady knew the person that she gave it to. It was just, almost God sent.
Yeah. Marcus, is there anything you'd like to finish out with?
Yes, winter is coming. Well, winter is here, but spring is coming. We want to present Mission Green.
I was going to say, what are you doing? Watching Game of Thrones? but anyways, thank you. Was there anything else you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, so we're going to be starting home gardens for people.
Nice.
Home vegetable gardens for people for free. I've purchased about 500,000 seeds. Gonna get them started growing at home, and you have hit us up on La Mission Facebook page. You have some space for a home garden, we'll come and give you 12 plants.
Show you how to do it.
Yep.
Well, that's how it all starts, from a seed, and
Yep.
it continues to grow. And I wish you guys the blessings and all the luck that you can. And the Civica, we're there for you as well. And we just want to thank you for being on the show tonight. And to Veronica and to you, Rudy, and to all of you that are involved with La Mission, thank you for giving the gift of the heart. And look at it, and look at his shirt. So thank you all for being with us tonight, and continue the great work. And I thank you all for joining me here on Mi Gente on Air. All right, so that is the show for tonight. I want to thank everybody that's been in the room tonight, and you can watch this show continuously throughout the week, as it is on the social media platform, Facebook, and also on YouTube. And we've been getting a lot of views, and we spread it on many of the different pages. It's not just WSGW or Mi Gente on Air. It's on my personal page. It's on a number of different ones, and I'm sure it will be shared on La Mission as well.
Okay.
But we are here for a reason, and that is to, show the variety and diversity within our community. And Mi Gente on Air is a big part of that, as well as showcasing the individuals that we have on the show. So thank you, everybody. Thanks again for being with me here tonight, and we'll see you next week on Mi Gente on Air. Good night.